2 Samuel. Let's look at 2 Samuel. Writer. The author of the second book of Samuel is unknown. Title. The book of 2 Samuel describes the events of David's reign over Judah and then over the whole nation of Israel. When this book was first written, it was together with 1 Samuel. The book was probably divided to make it easier to fit on the scroll. The name Samuel means asked of God. Samuel was born in answer to his mother's prayer for a son. Outline. David's rise, king and ruler, 2 Samuel 1 through 10. David's fall, sin and problems, 2 Samuel 11 through 20. David's last days, troubles in David's family and kingdom, 2 Samuel 21 through 24. Main people. David, Bathsheba, Ishbosheth, Nathan, Abner, Joab, Mephibosheth, Amnon, Uriah, Absalom. History. Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel, 1 Kings, 2 Kings, 1 Chronicles, 2 Chronicles, Ezra, Nehemiah, Esther. Location. When we open the book of 2 Samuel, we are in the second division of the Old Testament, the books of history. 2 Samuel is the 10th book of the Old Testament and the 5th book of the history division. Connecting to Jesus in 2 Samuel. Samuel. In chapter 7 of 2 Samuel, the prophet Nathan told David God's words. God promised that a descendant of David would have a kingdom that would last forever. Nathan was talking about Solomon, David's son, but he was also pointing us towards David's greatest son, Jesus Christ. Matthew 1:1 calls Jesus Christ the son of David because Jesus was from David's family, but Jesus was born hundreds of years later. Discoveries from the past. Archaeologists have found much evidence about David and his life. They have found references to the music and worship used during David's time. They have also found the city of David, which was called the fortress of stronghold of Zion, 2 Samuel 5:7. The city of David was only part of the city we know today as Jerusalem. See page 341. Where it all happened. See the map on page 77. When events happened. 1010 BC. David, Nathan, Mephibosheth. Main events. David's rise, king and ruler. Chapters 1 through 10. David was made king, first of Judah, the 2 southern tribes, and then of all Israel, all 12 tribes. He reigned over Judah for 7 years. He reigned over all Israel for another 33 years. With God's help, David defeated Israel's enemies. Israel, 10 tribes, Judah, 2 tribes. Israel, Ishbosheth, Judah, David. Chapters 1 through 2. David was sorry to hear of King Saul's death. The people of Judah, the southern tribes, made David their king. But Ishbosheth, Saul's son, ruled over Israel, the northern tribes. David's men battled the men of Abner, the servant of Ishbosheth. Chapters 3 and 4. Abner, who had commanded Saul's army, left Ishbosheth and joined David. Abner was killed by Joab, one of David's men, in revenge for those killed in the battles. 2 of Ishbosheth's men murdered Ishbosheth. Bathsheba, 970 BC. Jerusalem. Chapters 5 and 6. David ruled over all the tribes and made his capital in the city of Jerusalem. He made war against the Philistines and brought the Ark of the Covenant to Jerusalem. Chapter 7. David offered to build a beautiful temple, but God said it was he who will build a house or family for David. Speaking through the prophet Nathan, God promised that a son of David will have a kingdom without end. Philistines. Arameans. Moab. Chapters 8 through 10. David finally defeated the Philistines, Moab, Zobah, and the Arameans. He made his nation strong and ruled with justice. Remembering his promise to Jonathan, David took care of Jonathan's son, Mephibosheth. The armies of Amnon, joined by Aramean rebels, were defeated. David's fall, sin and problems. Chapters 11 through 20. David sinned and God had to punish him. God forgave David when David confessed his sin and turned from it. 2 Samuel 12, 13, and 14. David did not train his sons well, and they became selfish and disobedient. They plotted against David and caused him much sadness and trouble. Chapters 11 and 12. David sinned by taking the wife of another man. He then planned for her husband to be killed in battle. David admitted he had done wrong. He confessed this to God, and God forgave him. But God punished David by allowing his child to die. Chapters 13 through 18. David's son Absalom ran away after killing his brother. David had Absalom brought back to Jerusalem and after a while forgave him. Absalom plotted to take away David's power, forcing David and his household to escape from Jerusalem. David's men found and killed Absalom. Chapters 19 and 20. The people of Judah called David back as king. Joab, David's servant, put down an uprising among the men of Israel. David's kingdom. Judah and Israel were together again. David's last days. Chapters 21 through 24. The last 4 chapters of 2 Samuel tell some things David did and said toward the end of his life. However, David's death is not recorded until the beginning of the next book, 1 Kings. Chapter 21. David was almost killed in a battle with the Philistines. Chapter 23 to 24. David sang a song in which he thanked God for his protection. There are 800,000 fighting men in Israel and 500,000 in Judah. Soon, however, David began to doubt God's protection. He counted his people to make sure that his nation was strong. Angered by David's doubt, God sent a plague and many people died. David built an altar and made peace offerings. God forgave him and stopped the plague.